You've tried thinking your way into a better life. You've journaled it, scripted it, envisioned it. You've written down affirmations until your hand cramped. You've spoken them into mirrors, like rituals. You've meditated, visualized, whispered your desires into the stars. But still, something feels off. Like you're on the edge of something but never quite inside it. Like the life you can almost taste, almost touch, keeps drifting, just out of reach. And maybe you've started to wonder, what am I missing? You're not alone. Because the truth is, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just doing what you were told. Think positive, picture it, align your thoughts. And while that's part of the equation, it's not the whole formula. Because this isn't just about thoughts. This is about embodiment. It's about signal. It's about becoming. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. Not who you say you are. Not who you hope to be. But who you consistently show up as, in the unseen moments, in the quiet in-between spaces, when no one is watching but your own soul. And in that space, the truth becomes undeniable. Energy doesn't lie. So here's the shift. What if you stopped waiting for evidence to believe and started letting belief create the evidence? Because here's something wild to consider. Maybe the thing you've been manifesting isn't far away. Maybe it's already circling you, already available, already coded into the field. And the only reason it hasn't landed isn't because you're not worthy or ready or aligned enough. Maybe it's because you're still trying to pull it in from the outside, instead of radiating it from within. You've been told to ask the universe. But maybe the universe has been asking you, when will you become the version of yourself that your dream life already belongs to? Let that question settle into your nervous system. Let it echo in your cells. Because manifestation isn't a transaction. It's not, do this, get that. It's resonance. It's embodiment. It's becoming the frequency of the thing you desire so completely that it has no choice but to match you. This isn't about perfection. It's about coherence. The alignment between your mind, your emotions, and your actions. When those three speak the same language, the field listens. When they contradict each other, the signal is static. So ask yourself, what do I really believe I deserve? Not what you say you believe, what you show you believe. When you spend money, when you speak about your future, when you react to delays and disappointments, that's where the truth lives. And maybe that's where the opportunity is too. Because here's what most people don't realize. Manifestation doesn't start with desire. It starts with identity. And identity isn't something you describe. It's something you become. The way you move, the way you hold yourself, the decisions you make when no one's validating them, the thoughts you stop entertaining because they no longer match the future you're creating. This is what it means to become the signal. To stop begging reality to change and start generating it from the inside out. And yes, that's hard at first. Because your past is familiar. Your patterns are practiced. Your nervous system has been trained to expect the same outcomes over and over again. So stepping into a new identity can feel like stepping into thin air. Like pretending. Like make-believe. But it's not. It's frequency training. It's collapsing time. It's choosing to live in the end before the beginning catches up. And the field responds to that. Because when your thoughts say, I'm ready, your emotions say, I believe it, and your actions say, I've already arrived, the field bends. It listens. It mirrors. But when your thoughts say, I want it, and your emotions whisper, I don't trust it, and your actions scream, I'm not there yet, the field gets confused. It holds. It waits. So if you're stuck in the loop of almost, if you're tired of glimpses and longing, then maybe it's time to stop tweaking your vision and start tuning your signal. This isn't about forcing. It's about allowing. It's not about proving. It's about being. You don't need to fight for your future. You need to remember it. Because the version of you who already has it isn't a stranger. They're not some higher self out there in the distance. They're you, without the fear. You, without the story. You, without the need to earn it first. And they're waiting. Not on the timeline. On the frequency. So what does it feel like to tune into that frequency? What does it feel like to stop reaching and start receiving? It feels quiet. It feels grounded. It feels inevitable. Because when your nervous system starts to feel safe in abundance, you stop grabbing at it. When your body feels familiar with love, you stop chasing it. When your energy feels worthy of the reality you desire, you stop overcompensating. And that shift, that softening, is the doorway. Most people try to smash their way through the door with action, with force, with effort. But this isn't about adding more. It's about subtracting what's in the way. Doubt, scarcity, self-sabotage, and more than anything, the belief that you are still becoming. You're not. You're remembering. And the longer you stay in that frequency, despite what the outside world shows you, the more stable your signal becomes. At first, nothing changes. You'll feel like you're lying to yourself, like you're pretending to be someone you're not. But then, slowly, things begin to respond. Not dramatically, subtly. Someone treats you with new respect. You get a message you weren't expecting. You feel calm where you used to feel chaos. These are the micro shifts that signal macro change. But you have to notice them. You have to let them count. Because every time you acknowledge alignment, you anchor it. And every time you dismiss it, you delay it. So let's make something very clear. You are not waiting for the universe to choose you. The universe is waiting for you to match it. You're not attracting your desires. You're training your system to feel safe enough to hold them. And when that happens, the field doesn't just deliver. It rearranges, not because you begged it to, but because your frequency left it no choice. So now you're sitting here, breathing a little deeper, maybe even wondering, could it really be this simple? Could shifting my inner state be enough to change my outer world? And the answer is yes, but not because it's easy, because it's precise. Energy is precise. It doesn't speak in riddles. It doesn't play favorites. It doesn't negotiate with indecision. It mirrors. It aligns. It reflects. Exactly. Repeatedly. Relentlessly. Until you change your frequency or change your timeline. And this is where most people give up. They want the world to show them a new picture before they change their frame. But the field works in reverse. Your frame, your emotional baseline, your inner dialogue, your daily embodiment is the brush that paints your reality. If you keep looking at your life and saying, it's not here yet, you anchor in that timeline. You reinforce that signal. You rewire your nervous system to feel at home in absence. But if you choose, even in the stillness, even in the waiting, to say, I already am, something else happens. The field tilts. Reality adjusts. Because you've stopped broadcasting lack. You've stopped tuning to the station of not yet. You've become the source of the signal you once searched for. And that's when life begins to move, quietly, powerfully, with symmetry and grace. But don't be fooled. This isn't magic. It's not a cosmic glitch. It's physics. You've changed the input, so the output must respond. Still, your old identity will try to pull you back. It will whisper, be realistic. It will say, nothing's happening. It will tempt you to spiral, to over-explain, to prove yourself to the old version of you that only knew struggle and waiting. But this time, you don't spiral. You don't shrink. You breathe. You hold the frequency. You remember that every big shift begins with silence. That before the flood, there is always stillness. You don't need signs anymore to know it's working. You are the sign. You've become the evidence. And this is where things get real. Because your new reality won't always feel euphoric. It will feel different. It will challenge your defaults. You'll be asked to respond to old triggers in new ways. To choose presence over panic. Trust over proof. Alignment over approval. You'll notice your relationships shift. Some will fall away, not because you're failing, but because you're no longer vibrating at the frequency of proving, pleasing, or pretending. You'll feel yourself outgrowing versions of yourself that used to feel like home. And that will feel like grief and liberation at the same time. But don't retreat. Don't water down your signal just to stay in the familiar. You're not here to be understood by your past. You're here to be met by your future. So when the universe asks you to walk alone for a little while, say yes. When you're invited to choose integrity over comfort, say yes. When everything in you wants to wait for proof, but you choose faith instead, that's coherence. That's embodiment. That's how timelines collapse. And the beauty is, you don't need to do it all at once. Start with breath, with presence, with posture. Catch yourself in an old story and pause. Ask, is this the frequency of my future self? If not, shift. Even if it's subtle, even if it's uncomfortable. Especially then, because the quantum doesn't need big moves. It needs clean signals. A single sentence spoken from power is louder than 100 screamed in fear. A single decision made from alignment is more magnetic than months of planning done from scarcity. And a single moment of embodied gratitude can rewire your entire energetic field. So try this. The next time you walk into a room, walk like it's already yours. The next time someone compliments you, receive it like it's familiar, not foreign. The next time you speak about your dreams, speak from ownership, not longing. Don't wait for the world to validate you. Validate yourself in every breath, because the field is not waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your stability. It's waiting for your congruence. And here's the twist. Once you stabilize in that frequency long enough, things begin to shift faster than you ever expected. The people, the places, the synchronicities, the money, they show up with uncanny precision. Not because you chase them, but because you stopped leaking your power and started radiating it. You see, this path isn't about hustle. It's about holding. It's about having the capacity to receive without questioning it, rejecting it, or sabotaging it. That's the work, not forcing outcomes, but expanding your nervous system to feel safe in receiving more. Because the universe has never had a shortage of blessings. It's only ever been a matter of readiness. And readiness isn't about timing. It's about frequency. Are you a match for what you say you want? Are your choices, thoughts, and emotions fluent in the language of already mine? Because if not, no amount of vision boards will translate the signal. But if yes, if you're living as the version who's already arrived, then you'll start to see the world organize around you like gravity. It won't be hype. It won't be fireworks. It'll be synchronicity, flow, alignment. People will say you've changed, but they won't be able to name why. It's because your energy speaks louder than words. You've stopped seeking. You've started resonating. And that resonance, that's the shift. That's the new identity. That's the point of no return. You don't go back to the old you, not because you hate them, but because you've outloved them, because you've expanded beyond what they could hold. So now you become the embodiment. You become the example. You become the frequency others tune to when they're ready to rise. Not because you're better, but because you remembered first. And maybe, just maybe, that was the whole point. To not just manifest something, but to become someone, not someone new, but someone true. And that version of you, they're not far. They're not waiting. They're here. They've always been here, waiting for you to stop visualizing and start being. Welcome back.